Bullshit.
Hi guys! Thank you so much for coming back. We are the Guys of the Beholder. Today we are talking about when we played XCOM. We're going to talk about what we disliked about it, what we liked about it, what we thought could have been done better. Well, we should talk about this game a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is made by Fantasy Flight Games, as you can tell from all of the cards.
Yeah.
That do all of the card stuff. Those of you not familiar with Fantasy Flight Game is pretty surprising, but they do a lot of card games. They are very, very popular.
They're also very component heavy.
They are very component heavy. They love making their little pieces for everything.
I love little pieces, though. I love little minis.
I mean, it's cool, but at the same time,
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. We'll talk about that a little later.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that. But it's Fantasy Flight.
It's also published by 2K Games, which does XCOM as the actual video game itself.
That's pretty neat.
They also do the Civilization board game and the Civilization video games as well.
That's cool.
Lead designer was Eric Lang, who has done Blood Rage.
I just need to, like... Are we advertising for Blood Rage now?
I don't know. I
just
just
fun to say.
Yeah,
Oh,
just fun to say.
okay.
You gotta get that rage out.
Yeah.
And then the lead graphic designer was Samuel Simoda, who has also done Pandemic Legacy Season 0.
Oh, okay.
Which is the one where instead of fighting the disease, you fight the disease of communism. And you stop the spread of communism.
Seriously?
Yes, that is what Pandemic Season 0 is about.
Oh, wow.
It's set, it's set in the 80s, and you're trying to stop communism from spreading.
Oh, okay,
and
great.
he plays the CIA. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's pretty good. He's also done Fury of Dracula, right there.
Dracula?
Yeah.
It's over here.
He does the graphic design for that as well. There's no way,
Yeah, the camera doesn't
It's
see
there.
that.
Yeah.
It's behind Larry.
He actually works on a crap ton of games.
Does he?
So it's pretty, we'll be playing more of them.
Cool.
Whether we like it or not.
All right, so whether we like it or not, let's talk about what we liked about this game. The highs. What do you feel about it, Larry? This was your pick, wasn't it?
Yeah, I enjoy the low level of stress it gives you, and it's good stress. It's like horror movie stress. You know, you're like, but then you accomplish your thing. You're like, and you feel good about your life because you're doing small, accomplishable goals.
Semi-accomplishable. I mean, it depends on what you roll.
It does depend on what you roll.
It does, yes.
It entirely depends on what you roll. How many times did you roll 6 dice, Larry, and you came up with nothing?
Yeah, what happened to that mutant the third try, though?
Yeah. So, when you did everything that you were supposed to do in order to succeed and didn't even come close a couple times.
That's life.
That is life. It'd be that way sometimes.
It'd
Sometimes
be that way sometimes.
you work extremely hard, and you know what? It's just, it happens.
You get pooped on.
Yeah.
What else do you have to go with it? So you like this horror movie stress that it gives you?
Yeah, it feels a lot like the video game.
Okay, yeah.
Because it is a lot going on. You're like, oh gosh, I need to research this. Oh man, there's dudes.
Yeah.
Like, oh, UFOs here. Like,
yeah.
So it is very reminiscent of the game.
You can't wait out the game though. Oh, I guess you can't really wait out in the game too.
Can't wait out the board game, can't wait out the video game.
It's just happening.
Sometimes
Life is
you
going.
just do it, and like kind of like the video game, the first time you play it, you might lose.
Oh, you're
gonna lose.
You're gonna make
Exactly.
mistakes.
You're gonna
At
make
least.
mistakes.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's
Now I know how to play the video game, and I know how to win every single time.
Yes.
But that first try, though.
That first try, yeah.
That first try was really
I
hard.
remember the first time I played the video game of XCOM, I got beat so bad that I'm like, I don't think I'm ever going to come back to this.
It's
and 6 months later, I'm like, you know what? I want to give it another try. And I'm like, well, I know this is good and this is bad now. And you beat it, and you just eventually have a sniper that's psychic that has gene modifications that can kill anyone across the map. Like,
right.
He's flying at the same time, so why not?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm just going to jump all the way up here, turn invisible, and kill people. Like, it becomes great and fun. Good times. What's your high?
It is pretty. I'll lead into it. I'll build off that. That's it does remind you of the game.
We're all big fans of the game.
We're all
the video game.
The video game.
Yeah, I mean,
it's the go-to. Like, I don't know what I'm doing with my day, and then you play for 12 hours.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you didn't mean to, but
it sucks you back in. Like it's kind of like it has that same like Civ thing where it's like, okay, one more thing.
Exactly.
Right.
Because it's the small accomplishable goals. You're like, oh, this unlocked this. I'll just do this. And oh,
I like research. I want to excavate this tunnel. We are talking about the board game right now. I want to
know that.
I want to focus in on some of this artwork. There's something about these tiles in particular, or the mission cards themselves, how they really are still giving you the information that they need, but emphasizing the artwork. It's not necessarily that the artwork, it's not that the artwork isn't outstanding, because it is. It's that they make a lot more room for it. And generally, on a whole, I will talk about these extra minis, because who doesn't need more minis? Everyone needs more minis. If you were lucky enough to have bought this game, now you have all of these soldier minis that stand out, that have additional monikers that you can use for other games as well. So all of these extra little pieces are helpful to play other games.
And the UFOs are stackable.
That's actually honestly impressive.
That's like, that's satisfying. Did you try to talk about yours? So we could glide right over it?
Yeah, no, you're fine. I'll let you go first.
I'm going to let you finish. But,
yeah. I
what you're saying
enjoy
is
the high level of teamwork that is required to complete this game.
Mm-hmm.
It is one of those things that when someone fails, you feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And when someone succeeds, you feel it. Because it's like,
yeah,
you're doing your job well, which means I get to do my job well, which means we get to do our job well.
Right.
And it's like this great, like, team pulling in exercise. I got you so hyped I saw you so hyped.
Yeah.
For the last mission of this, which was more hyped than I saw you when we did, like, Night of the Living Dead, which is another cooperative game.
Yeah, okay.
When we did Horrified,
Yep.
which was another cooperative game.
Mm-hmm.
This one, you were, like, invested, and you were in it, and you were, like, pumped and psyched, and that's something that comes out of that, like, required teamwork and, like...
I just feel like it was stress, though. I recall being told, calm down, several times while we were playing.
You know, that's my job as commander.
Tell me to calm down.
You're doing great. You're doing amazing.
Yeah.
Just keep doing your thing.
I know it's great teamwork and all, but there's some really big highs, but I didn't feel necessarily like a huge part of the team. It felt like everything was being fought over there. And everything, like me, like I did my stuff and I did it well.
You blew up stuff in space, man.
Yeah, a whole bunch.
Yeah. Every single time. You didn't lose a single satellite.
I did not once.
You literally had the perfect game.
But everything else that was happening that mattered was there.
It all matters, though.
It all matters. Because if you don't succeed there, that means they come back down, which means they can blow up other ships.
They add more crises. They scramble turn orders.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
it complicates. What you did was help simplify the thing for everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
don't seem like a lot.
It doesn't
seem like a whole bunch.
But when it goes wrong, it's a lot.
It's noticeable.
Yes.
Okay, well.
When you fail, we notice.
You roll a 1.
Yeah.
It's bad news.
We feel it, right? And like that's kind of something else that comes from it when you would play different roles, you experience the game in a totally different way. Right? Like when you're doing chief scientist stuff, the first time you play chief scientist, you're probably going to have a bad time. Because you're not going to know what all these researchers do or how they interact with the game or what is needed. But the second time you do it, you'll understand. And you'll get to learn the struggles of something. You'll get to walk a mile in someone else's shoes and understand what they go through. And yeah, it's just, you build up a good teamwork. What's going on here?
Yeah.
But I can already tell that you're not.
I don't know.
You're not buying it.
I just...
Teamwork does not make the dream work for him.
No.
It does in other cooperative games, but just moving into the lows and what I dislike about this game is I just think I dislike the game. I would rather play regular XCOM. I did just feel a lot of stress, and maybe that was my morning. Maybe I'm being a little grouchy pants and unfair. Yeah. But this one was everything is done well and right. But it's just a miss for me.
So I appreciate the stress from it.
Yeah.
I appreciate the little bit of pressure that gets put on you to succeed. And everyone knows that I have horrible luck at rolling dice.
The worst.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean,
I don't know. Larry came in rolling 6 dice.
It was a bad game.
Rolling
That's not normal.
Nothing.
And it's just one of those things where it's like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And like you have to learn to cope with that stress and pressure and still find a way to try and succeed. Which is, I mean, that's all you can do in general, right?
Yeah.
So what's your low, Larry?
Takes up a lot of table space.
Yes.
Lots. But that's a Fantasy Flight problem.
That is.
We're not going to blame solely this game. And where are my psychics?
Is that not in the expansion?
Nope, mechs, as far as I know. It's mechs and meld and a couple enemies.
Yeah.
I don't think psychics are in it at all. Which they're a big part of XCOM.
Yeah.
So
that'd be a cool thing for the commander. It's either you make someone a lead or you can make someone psychic.
yeah, so where my psychics be?
That would be nice. I wonder if they just had a hard time because the base psychics in the game are kind of like just okay. Once they kind of like get up to higher levels.
Yeah.
See, maybe if they make an XCOM 2, since they didn't have a soldier class and they're just psychics, they could have their own thing.
Yeah. Do you think they'll make an XCOM 2 board game?
Don't know.
I don't know.
I hope so.
If you like promotion, why didn't you let us know?
Yeah. If Fantasy Flight decides to make another one, yeah, I'd be there for it. I'd buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd go.
Not XCOM.
Yeah. I would continue the XCOM. My biggest low is that this is just kind of like a personal thing for me. I don't like apps for games.
Oh, we didn't even talk about that yet.
Yeah. It's one of those things that like I have an irrational fear that someday the app will no longer be supported. What if licensing issues happens and the app gets removed? I don't see that happening because 2K publishes this, and so does Firaxis, who own the XCOM license.
Right. But they might not one day. That it's entirely possible.
Yeah. And it's just one of those things that, like, if something happens and the app is gone,
this game is unplayable.
It is 100% unplayable.
It's 100% unplayable. Now, what are the odds of that happening? Some to know. But it's one of those things that in the back of my mind, whenever someone's like, oh, we made an app game and it has, like, you use an app with it and stuff like that. I'm like, but what if it just doesn't?
What if that integral part is gone for whatever reason?
Now, I know there are some games that do the app, but also have, like, a book.
Yeah.
In case something
Imperial
happens.
Assault.
Yeah.
If you can use it.
Yes.
Don't need it, which is nice.
And there's plenty of games that start with book and get an app later.
Imperial Assault.
Yeah, I was like, Gloomhaven does that, where there's the book where it keeps, like, you have to keep track of everything. Or you can just use an app, and it tracks everything for you, and it's so much nicer.
It is nicer and easier, but again, give us the safety net.
Yeah.
Give us the safety net. Like,
yeah, and I like this game so much, it would be a shame to never be able to play it again.
Correct.
And it would make me sad panda. And I don't want to be a sad panda.
Yeah.
Talked about board space.
Talked about how I just don't like it. I didn't have fun.
Is it because of the stress?
I think so. I think it's more so in Grouchy Pants today.
Do you think it would be less stressful if you had a different position?
No, I think it would be much more stressful if I had a different position.
But what if the soldiers were doing cheerleader pyramids the entire time? Would that have helped?
That might have.
Okay. That's my bad. I didn't have to do it during.
Yeah.
Performance review squad leader. Next time, more cheer squad. All right.
Yeah. So I'm looking at it now. It's fun. I'm feeling a little bit of joy from it.
Okay. Feeling inspired?
Yeah.
That's fair. So, who do you think has the hardest job?
Squad leader.
Blair?
It's a lot of them.
Yeah.
They have a lot of pressure riding on them.
Yes. I would also say squad leader because if the base gets destroyed, you lose the game.
And you have to, the squad leader in turn is responsible for winning the game.
Yeah.
They're responsible for winning the game. The normal missions have to keep stuff in check. I think you have to complete them to get the final mission.
Yeah.
And then since your dudes are dying a lot, you're also a burden on the monies.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's like, I need this money.
Yeah.
Sorry about your research. I need men.
So it's...
See, but the research needed to make you keep men alive.
Yep.
You know,
but I need men to get your research going. Otherwise the base is destroyed.
It's an intricate balancing game. With that being said, like, we did kind of crush it. I also want to talk about how the board is set up and the locations are pretty set for each member, almost. Like, I was the communications officer. I should be here because I manage the satellites, which are right here, and all of these. Like, this is just the optimal position for me because I'm interacting with this, and I'm the only one who interacts with this. Same thing with the squad leader. He's the only person that interacts with that, so he should sit right there.
And I did sit right here.
And he did sit right there, but like, it just... What if I want to sit to a different friend?
Wow.
Well, luckily he gets to sit next to both of us every time.
Every time.
Yeah. So that actually brings up a good point that we did not talk about before, which is the required number of players
Just about to bring that up.
Yes.
that are needed for this. I would never try and play this game with 2 people.
Nope. First time I played it, I tried with 2, and it was confusing because it's the first time, and then there was 2 people, and we're like, oh gosh.
This is hard.
Yeah, you think you have stress before.
Yeah, that was unnecessary stress.
Imagine having half the time to do anything because you have to flip back and forth between stuff.
Right.
Yeah. I would say this game plays okay with 3.
Mm-hmm. Which is what we did.
Mm-hmm. I think it plays best before, preferably with people that have played before.
Right.
You need at least one person at the table who's played before.
Right.
I mean, obviously that's not going to happen the first time you get the game.
Right, and the first time that you get the game,
you suffer through it and you learn your lesson and then you try again.
Yeah, and you go through the introduction as well, which spells it out word for word exactly how to play this game.
And still lose though.
I believe we have before,
yes.
And that's because we rolled all 1s our first go around the table for first everything. So we rolled 1s for everything.
That's XCOM, baby.
That's XCOM.
Great.
99% chance. Boom, miss.
Right.
Yeah, and it just I would never want to see anyone try and do this one-handed.
Oh.
Yeah. And just the logistics of the pieces alone.
Yeah. Try solving 8 crises while you still have to put UFOs out there.
While you're pressing next.
You're right.
I'm leaning into, I also feel like there are 4 distinct roles and only 4 distinct roles. So I guess in theory, 5 people could play or more if you just all want to share the responsibilities. In a sense, you have people in the background just giving an input.
Dear God, that'd be horrible.
Oh, sure.
Stay the F out of my business. These are my men.
But we were also talking about every single move that we did.
Yes, because we're all interconnected. Now, if you're on the outside, you might have a total different game plan.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you're not the one pressing the button. You're not the one sending these guys to die. Right. Those aren't your planes in the sky. You're just like, you can do that.
Right.
Okay.
This is one
so we can't do that. Fine. But playing it down with less players, I feel like just giving one person the extra job or 2 people 2 jobs is not the perfect mechanic to make it work.
Yeah.
It is essentially this is the game, period. There is no extra accommodation for more or less players like in other games.
Real talk, what they could have done was eliminated the budget guy.
Yeah.
That could be done on the app.
Yeah.
How many soldiers did you put out? How many planes did you put out?
And the plane should be handled by the chief.
Correct. It could be very easily be a 3-person thing.
Yeah.
I will come back and say, giving someone 2 jobs, as someone who did 2 jobs,
yes,
I did feel slightly overwhelmed sometimes.
Yeah.
But I also like the stress of feeling overwhelmed.
Yeah. And succeeding despite.
Yes.
Yeah.
And taking that opportunity of I should fail at this, but I'm doing acceptable.
Right.
Not even good, but acceptable.
You did pretty good.
Yeah. The rollings was tough for you.
Well, that's always
it's always tough.
That's why I do it, baby. That's why I play the game,
Yeah.
You pooped on, yeah.
Yeah.
Did get pooped on.
Yeah. But pull it out and you had to do it. Look at all this research I got through.
It's a lot of cards in front of you right now. I hope that shows up on camera because I see this giant glare on all of them.
Some of these are a little rough, but most of them here. We'll do that. There you go.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
Now I'll just, have to piece it frame by frame, cut them out, add them in as they come along. Yep. Great!
I helped.
Frame hold right there!
But yeah, it's one of those things that I would feel bad if you had to do multiple jobs all the time.
Yeah.
You should switch that off with people every time you play.
Mm-hmm. Probably the communications officer could do more.
Probably that commander.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be an easy. I think that's what they recommend.
Yeah.
The first time that you're playing through it. If you're if you're playing with 3 people, have your chief communications officer do the commander stuff as well.
So that would just be I would just be doing the budget also.
Yeah, you just count the money and then send planes somewhere.
Yeah. That would make sense.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
And then they said squad leader and scientist as the other one. Oof.
Squad leader does their own job.
You go find someone else to play squad leader for you. You go recruit someone else.
Don't play this game with 2 people.
But
don't play this game with less than 3 people.
You
if you own this game, how can people find this game, guys?
So, LGSs, will still have them around.
Local game stores,
They occasionally have the base game. The expansion for it, pretty much impossible unless you speak German. There's a German version on Amazon. Yeah. There are also, you can use secondary markets like Board Game Geek to acquire it. They're going to be used. The prices are also going up because as of filming this, the expansion recently went out of print a couple months ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Darn it.
I went to go buy it recently. I've seen it sitting on the shelf for years and now it's gone, so
yeah.
I feel this.
Yeah.
And I went to 4 or 5 different stores to try and find it.
Mm-hmm.
Even one like in the city, they didn't have it. They had the base game.
Might look around though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe if I find a base game, I might pick it up and we might do it as a giveaway if you guys want it. Let us know in the comments if you'd like that.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah. It'd be, I mean,
yep.
Can I enter?
No. We have a copy of the game. You guys, we care about you guys. There's so many.
Barry have a copy of the game. It's his copy.
Yeah, and we meet how often to play board games every single.
You mean Larry meet quite often to play board games.
Yeah. You guys. You guys.
It's like we live right next to each other.
So it seems like we're rambling now and we've gotten off topic. Okay, moment of truth. Do we approve or disapprove of this game?
I think it's pretty obvious how we feel.
Yeah. We're all in.
Thumbs up, your thumbs
we're
up.
All in.
I'm a thumbs down.
Okay.
It's just not for me. But 2 out of 3 guys approve. That's a pretty good rating.
Yeah,
Too bad you can't get it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know if you want us to break our backs to try and get you guys a copy of this game. We might try. Tell us in the comments.
Tell us another game that has. So there's a lot of games that have this like timer kind of app aspect to it that puts the stress on people for doing. I think Space Alert is another one that's very popular.
Mm-hmm.
That's, I would say, even more stressful.
Yeah.
There's like a thing that yells at you while you're playing the game.
Sure. Yeah.
Tell us your favorite type of alert style game like that.
Sure.
Where you're on a timer.
Mm-hmm.
You have to make decisions quickly. How much stress are you under? Are you sweating?
Yes.
You're in the crunch.
You're in the crunch.
Not in the middle of an outro. It's fine.
Sorry.
Just went so long. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. If you do want to support the show, there's a Patreon down in the bottom in the information below. Please go support that there. Anything you can do helps us out so much. But thank you so much. We're the Guys the Beholder. This is
Tony.
I'm Michael and Larry. Yeah, good night, guys. Bye.